What's up, Caps Nation? It's Lockie here. We're joined for the third episode of the Coach's Corner here with legendary Bruce Palmer. How are you doing?
Great, Lockie. Thank you.
That's great. For some people that might probably not know you or need a bit of background, from Southern California, moved to Melbourne, played under Lindsay Gaze for a while, began your coaching career with the North Melbourne Giants, won the championship in '89. Continued your coaching career in Brisbane with the Bullets. You've been all around the world: Japan, NBA, Global Academy in China, a bit of Siebel back here as well, and you're landing now here in Brisbane. So, what's kind of led you to this point now, being at Brisbane Capitals and being involved with the QSL program?
Well, I came back from China and I wasn't doing anything. The pandemic hit.
Yep.
Murray, actually, I was still doing some stuff. You missed a couple of things. I was the basketball.
It's hard with a resume like yours.
Of the Asian Basketball League, and that was a tournament that ran 3 consecutive years in Macau.
Right.
Well, that didn't happen, and Murray had called me. Actually, it happened, but the dates married well. He had asked me if I could coach, help with the under 21s.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, mate, I'd love to, but I'm going to have to leave. But it was really the time that I was in Macau. It was the same time the season kind of broke.
Mm-hmm.
We had a summer break. So I came back and I had a great time, great group of kids. And then that led to, being asked to do the QSL 2. And I'm just really fortunate that he asked, because I was really sitting on my hands. I was doing some stuff with Gregory Terrace. And
Okay.
doing odd coaching clinics here and there, helping Brian Curl whenever he would ask with his academy. So I've had a long history, with Brisbane, going back with Neil Hamilton Smith and Freddie Van Dongen when he ran it.
Yep.
We used to practice here when I was with the Bullets.
Yeah.
And Pam Hamilton Smith. So there's, there's a
lot of history.
A lot of history and really great people. So I was just really fortunate when Murray and I go quite a ways back when I was working for Basketball Queensland. Murray was the South Queensland NITP head coach. Mm-hmm. So, there's been a pretty strong and healthy relationship with a lot of people here at Brisbane.
Yep. And then switching over to this season now, the QSL boys, I believe you're 3-1. The only loss to a veteran side with the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. But a couple good performances in the last few weeks. How's the group feeling, and what are you kind of focusing on this season?
The group's really, they're a great group of men. They a lot of them are student athletes, right?
Yep.
They're all going to uni. We got Aaron Sang back, one of our captains. He had an ankle injury for the first 4 games. We'll be nursing him back in. He'll start this weekend. Jacob Davis.
Yep.
He wasn't going to play because he was pursuing a career in the mining industry, and he's going to be playing, and he looked great. He's been at our last 2 practices, and he looks in incredible shape. He was our leading scorer last year. Mm-hmm. Team leader. He's playing. Luke Mumford has come back from a health, concern. Got himself in better shape. So we're going to have pretty much a full-string squad that we were looking for from this point on. Mm-hmm. So, we've got some great additions too. Sebastian Sipka. I hope I'm saying his surname.
Yeah, I think
if I'm not,
Smitka.
He'll let me know. Smitka.
He'll let you know.
He's a great addition. Ethan Tafe, a great addition. Dumajir.
He's been playing well. Yep.
Yeah, so I like what we got.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then, me and you have exchanged a bit of tape and stuff like that of players and games. Are there any guys, even from your groups the last year or so, that you think could make it to that next step, whether that's college or NBL 1 or even the NBL one day?
Well, definitely Dew has a very real opportunity. And that's why sending tapes to this coach, he's got a head coach of a junior college in Texas. I think Ethan, he would be the next one that I know would be able to play. The problem with the states right now is the portal.
Yep.
There's 1,700 players. I mean, it trickles down all the way from, college high school players in the United States, really good players. They're not getting opportunities.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the ACC, probably the strongest conference in the United States. You can transfer from Duke to North Carolina and start playing immediately. So there's a big trickle-down effect. It's very tough for high school graduates from JUCO kids that are now they're obviously Division I, Division II players. There won't be these opportunities until these 1,700 that are in the portal get their spots.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a challenge, but I think if you're talented and you love the game and you show continued improvement, the opportunities will come your way.
Yeah, hopefully we see an opportunity for those guys to get over there and show what they're made of. Flicking over now, thinking about the NBL. Bullets season, obviously ending tonight. Are there any thoughts you have on what the Bullets can be doing, will be doing in the next year or so to make themselves a contender, put themselves in that top 3?
Obviously, Sobe's big time. I think getting Patterson back is big time. He knows his teammates. Kadee is big time. So I hope Matty Hodgson is big time. I mean, you look at across this competition that he's reliable, he's productive. You would hope they could keep him.
Yep.
But and Wigness will be coming with us after the under-19s, or maybe between them. I don't know how that's going to work. I think they've always needed a true point guard.
Yep.
He could be that answer. But I'm really happy for Andre Lamanis. He's such a class human being, and he's been, he weathers those knocks. It's a great opportunity. I've had lunch with Andre, and I'm really happy for him to now, get paid.
Yeah.
When you've achieved all that he's achieved, both in the NBL, New Zealand, before that Townsville, New Zealand, with us at Brisbane, the national. He really represented us well the last World Championships.
Yeah, and set us up to be in that position.
Absolutely. And now when I've been in Japan, he's gonna love that.
Yep.
As long as he's not in a 9 earthquake, which I was in. So try to run in a 9 earthquake, mate. It affects your quickness.
I can imagine.
Because normally I'm a jet. I get there from point A to B.
Yeah.
When you rock and you but he's going to do a great job there. He's in a really good club. They're in 3rd division. Their owner's he's driven to get them up into 1st division, and they got the best possible coach to do that.
Yep. No, that's awesome. And without maybe ruining any friendships with Gorge or anyone like that, who would be your prediction to take out the championship this year?
Hard to go past United.
It's hard.
It's hard to go past the owner of the league's team. But you never know. Perth is solid and they're talented. Brian's team, I admire the way they play.
Yeah.
They pin there. They are sound defensively. They go through, a lot of runs, offensive possession, they can't score. And if they can get that going, and I think a lot of that is on Jessup, run some sets for if he can get going, then it kind of solves those droughts offensively. Yep. But I'm a big fan of Brian Gorgon, so I'm wishing them the best.
Yeah. I think it's hard with Perth as well, obviously missing Cotton. It'll be challenging for them, so it'll be good to see what happens with them and whether they can step up without him. So
a good point.
Finally, last one, within the Capitals umbrella, there's obviously a lot of junior coaches, development coaches. you've been fortunate enough to make a career out of coaching. What would your advice be to someone that's potentially wants to follow the same path as you?
Well, one, define your philosophy, right? Be yourself, be comfortable in your own skin. You got to research the game. The game's always moving, and I'm still stuck probably 10 years ago. But I do what I believe to be right for the talent that I have. Australian basketball is kind of backwards in that we play a lot more than we practice.
Yeah.
So you got to invest in your practice time. You have to invest in skill development. So for young junior coaches, you got to. It's the process. If you can develop the skills, the results will follow. Mm-hmm. But I'm nowhere near as driven as I was when I was in my 30s. Because this is something I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm really comfortable now in this environment. I don't want to travel. I don't want to go to Gladstone. I don't want to go to Rockhampton. So coaches just, study the game, research the game, define your philosophy, know what you're teaching, teach it well, make sure the message is correct, and don't let ambition get in the way of being good as a teacher.
100%. With that being said, I'm hoping maybe at some point we can catch up before the finals and have another chat. But all the best for the rest of the QSL season, and thanks for joining me today.
Give me a handful.
That's
Good on
it.
you, mate. Thanks,
mate.